Yes, people, reality-based diets. As I said to you, new topics, new levels, new bridges. Let's call it bridges. You have to cross the bridges. Yeah, it's up to you if you burn them afterwards, but for now, it's just new bridges, new levels, new bridges, right? I briefly tapped on something a few times in the last few posts where I'm talking about the battle for your hearts and minds. Now, the battle for your hearts and minds, you might be like, what's that, right? But it is pretty straightforward. In more religious or spiritual terms, is literally the battle for your soul, right? Now, you start talking to people about that, and they often just think you're living in hyperbole. Is it hyperbole? Hyperbole, yeah? That you are gassing, or you're being an extremist, or you are trying to incite fear in people, or any of the rest of it, when the reality is the battle for your hearts and minds is a real thing. I mean, it's way less nuanced amongst black people, right? Because the integrity and solidity of the black family has been under attack, since the Jim Crow days, and probably before that, maybe, right? It's been a thing, right? Real talk. You can go look it all up. Same as, how, simply put, like, mind control is something that, the governments really do implement, right? Push that to one side, MK Ultra, all of that. I'm talking solely about the battle for your hearts and minds. Now, the battle for your mind, that is how much of your attention and energy that can be taken from you and pushed in a certain direction, right? It's not necessarily to sway your political opinions or any of the rest of it. A lot of that is layered, nuanced, it goes on and on. But what this battle for your mind really is for, the most obvious, consumerism, right? We understand that we are pushed and pulled towards consumerism all day, every day. Spend, 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 buy this, you need this, you want this, right? That's the least insidious of your mind control that you are currently under. The other side, another side of it is mainstream media. Okay, everybody knows, or if you do not know, then you should know, that mainstream media, outside of, like, yes, the government has a say and all the rest of it, it's more so corporations and other benefactors from the situation. No matter what the news story is, obviously every now and again we do get a bit of honest, unbiased news when it's something that isn't of any real importance, right? But media is its sole objective is to carve and sculpt your thought process, is to control your point of view by making you, believe, or get to a space where you do believe that the point of view of the general consensus or the media is exactly how it is, and therefore it can be, should be, and will be your point of view, right? This is how they can control your levels of compassion. This is how they can control your levels of self-worth. This is how they can control your levels of the realization that growth is never a bad thing, that change is never a bad thing. Evolution is a natural process that occurs and recurs within nature, right? Cool. Now, as far as the battle for your heart, it's intertwined. You know, I touched on it briefly. Self-worth. Self-worth is really at its lowest in society, mainly because consumerism has taken over. Everybody wants them new shoes. Everybody wants them, you know, that nice new car. Everybody wants to fuck the gal with the big fat batty or the big breasts and the fake lips and the fake everything, makeup everywhere, all of that, yeah, because this is what we've been shown as beauty, right, and desire. And the reality is lust and desire are the same thing to a certain extent, right? But this isn't a time of morality. No matter how people like to put their stance and put their flag in the sand for certain causes and reasonings and all the rest of it, when push comes to shove, everybody, yeah, the majority, right? I'm telling you, the majority. That's why I was saying to you before, even in terms of being spiritual, yeah, or just, if I had chosen a religion, it probably would have got just as techie, right? For me, solely because I'm willing to speak on certain things. I didn't choose to change my life so that I can point the finger at other people, which is what the majority of religious people like to do. But I chose different for myself. I chose different for myself because I wanted different for myself, right? But that doesn't align with society. Society is on a fast track to everything that they really do actually tease and drip feed into, you know, movies, even your little reels that you get on Instagram and YouTube nowadays. There's a lot of this theory that we as the human race are heading towards technologically augmented bodies, brains, everything, right? You even seen it with, you know, that weird guy that he decided to get loads of cosmetic surgery done to look more Korean, right? He's white. He's just a white guy. He's a white guy, right? You have been born into a position of unbelievable privilege and power just by being white. And white people don't like hearing that. But the reality is they want you to see them as the arbitrators of truth, justice, and all that is right with the world. Yet when you tell white people that they're privileged, all of them, no matter how poor you were born into your white country, you are still white, which means you have the advantage over anybody that is not, right? People don't like hearing that. But that's besides the point. Let's keep it within the realms of your mind, your body, right? So your mind and your heart, right? The battle for your mind and heart, it is in full flow. But that guy who changed his appearance to look more Korean is a perfect example of someone who's lost his mind and he has lost all connection to his heart space. Why, you ask? Well, because he doesn't love himself. He loves something that he is not and cannot be, regardless of plastic surgery and all the rest of it, right? But media like the way society is now, we are told, we are shown, we are pushed into this vacuum of not being able to feel or want to feel comfortable in one's own skin. That's what his illness is. You see it a lot, you know. They'll, and I'll move away from that subject now. Like, not that subject, but that example. Even in terms of black culture, right? Whether it's African, whether it's Caribbean, whether it's Americans, yeah. Enough of them bleach their skin because they want to be lighter in complexion, because we've been taught that whiteness is best, I guess, right? Or being light skinned, especially as black, within black culture and Asian culture, fair skinned, right? Now, like I said to you before, as a white person, you have a lot of privilege in this world, but black people will turn around to me and say, so do you. Not only are you light skinned, but you are mixed, which means you are half white and half black. I'm like, yes, I am half white and half black, but black people will be quick to tell me I'm mixed, and white people will quick to tell me I'm mixed, right? I mean, people will try to boil it down to the way you talk and all the rest of it, but the reality is the way that you talk means absolutely nothing when you get pulled over in a vehicle. The way you talk means absolutely nothing when you match the description that whatever officer that is troubling you has got on his little thing that he's trying to lie about, right? And that is kind of like the crossroads for me in this whole thing, right? Is my point of view on it. I can't be bothered to have a point of view today on this video because I want to talk more about the battle for your hearts. Because your mind is consumed with consumerism, because your mind is consumed with the thoughts that you need to change yourself, because your mind is consumed with the idea that you are not enough, that you are flawed in ways that only surgery, only buying, only the validation of other people can change for you. That's why your heart's gone, right? There is no compassion. It's not real. Like, for the majority of people get transcribed into tribes of caring about things. You have the Free Palestine Coalition, right? Free Palestine all day, all night. But we all know it's a losing battle, isn't it? The agenda is set firmly in the position to make people who are not Muslim fear, hate, and despise Muslims, right? That is the facts. And within Muslim countries, there is a lot that is said and done to make people fear, hate, and despise the Western world. That's the cycle that we live in. So in this country, like I'm saying to you, the average person, right? The average person, you may have compassion. You may believe that you are a supporter of certain causes and all the rest of it, right? And for some people, that is their self-esteem, or the only place they get it from, right? Is it's still outside of self, being involved in a virtuous subject or struggle. The battle for your hearts and minds is being waged on you so that your soul, your eternal soul, is not yours no more. That you are consumed with consumerism. You are consumed with the thoughts, the self-deprecating thoughts that you are not enough, right? And that's because everybody around you is also in the same thought process. So no one is ever enough for anybody. It's a madness. It's a whole state of confusion and turmoil that we have been incubating in for a long time. The battle for your hearts and minds, right? The battle for your hearts and minds. This isn't the last time I'm going to talk about it, but I feel like I've said enough on that subject right now. Right? We'll tap back in with some more. I've been Reality Based Diets, and as always, stay blessed, stay woke, stay compassionate, and stay calm. Stay calm. Just block out the noise. Right then, people. Reality Based Diets. Peace.